standing at the base of a mountain, looking at the belly of it. Okay? If there's any kind of formations coming off that mountain, those are called fingers. It's a military terminology. All right? Everybody got that? When two mountains come together and they touch, that area in between the two mountains right there, that's called a draw. Everybody picking up what I'm going down? All right, welcome to the military. See, it's not that hard. So what happened was we came up on top of the mountain, and it turned into Afghanistan, that shell rock and all that nastiness, that smell that gets in your face and rots your brain out and everything. And we started walking down it. And off to the right side, there was a finger pushing out about 800 meters long and probably over 100 meters wide. Well, we started walking down it, and I just peered off the top of the mountain. I looked down off the drop-off, and about 7,500 feet below us was our village, our objective. This is where this guy was supposed to be. Imagine a volcano in your head, hypothetically. Take a bunch of beehives and stick it in that volcano. That's what a village in Afghanistan looks like. I mean, it's just stuck right there. It's pretty amazing. Well, right underneath us was a grove of trees, about 150 meters down the mountain, about 300 meters wide. After that, it turned into grass for over 100 meters. The two ridge lines came together. They bowed back out and finished the volcano, and then in that bowl was our village. So we rappelled down into these trees. We had to use our shovels and our boots and build shelves, little steps, and just stand in them and lean against the mountain. And that's how we had to lay up. And when we wanted to watch the target, we'd lean off the mountain and grab a tree and pull up our cameras and our binos or whatever it was, do our business, and when we were done, we'd lean back against the mountain. That's how we were set up. Those of you who ski, the vert on was basically like a double black diamond. I mean, there was some parts where you actually straight vert. So, sun had come up, nothing was going on. Axe and Mikey left to find a different spot. And they came back about an hour later, so we all packed up. The top of the mountain was 25 feet above me, 30 feet. We crawled up on top of it, got up on that finger, and started walking down it. We walked all the way down, all 800 meters. At the very end, it just dropped off. And then right before that, there was a huge stump. It was all burned up and hauled out. We think we're in a logging area because the bigger trees had all been chopped down and cultivated. There were some boulders around it, some trees. Well, Axe is our primary sniper. It's his job to eliminate the threat. He laid up right there. The tree that came from the stump was laying right beside it. It's about quad height of me. It was all burned up and hauled out as well. I laid down parallel to it, kind of cocked my body around and shoved my chest underneath it, and I was his spotter and the secondary sniper. Mikey got to my left in some rocks, about 50 meters. I couldn't see him anymore, and Danny got behind me about 25, 30 meters, and I remember he had the only piece of shade on the mountain, which is a big deal because during the daytime it was like 120 degrees. At night it wasn't bad, it was 5. And it was rain and snow on us. So actually that was one of the hardest things we had to contend with was the temp change up in that altitude. It was pretty gnarly. So all of a sudden, a pair of little brown legs jumped off that tree that I was hiding under over the muzzle of my gun. And let me tell you something, they got my attention real fast. I didn't hear this guy, I didn't see him, and the biggest thing was I didn't smell him. Most of the time, and everybody who knows what I'm talking about, when we get over there, our senses are so heightened, we pick up stuff that you normally wouldn't over here. But I was underneath that tree, and it rained every night, so all I could smell was burnt wood. And I couldn't see from his calves up, so I don't know what kind of weapon system he had. And I was trying to wiggle my way out from underneath that tree. And as I came up with my rifle to engage, he turned around, looked at me, and he had an axe in his hand. Well, what's your natural reaction after somebody scares you? You get mad, right? Same thing happened to me, I'm a human being. So I jumped over that log, flipped him down, subdued him, took that axe away from him, and I was stuck in that tree. He had a big, long beard. If somebody has one of those and you want to get their attention, grab them by it. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I rolled my fist up in his beard, and I drug him over that tree, and I drug him over to where Danny was in the shade. I was like, get out of the way, man, I'm going to interrogate this guy. And I was trying to tell him that I wasn't going to kill him. I was like, look, man, I ain't going to jack you up. You can bet most SEALs, we don't pay attention in language class, because we don't go over there and talk to people. I don't care what language. Everybody understands what this means. If you ain't on the ground, by the time my rifle muzzle comes back up to your chest, I'm going to put a huge hole in you. So, it's a universal language. But I was trying to tell him I wasn't going to kill him. I was like, look, man, I ain't going to jack you up. Most of the stuff we learn is to scare them. What happens is usually when we get in the country, our interpreters will walk up to us and be like, you know, what do you want to learn how to say? Because we paint our faces up like demons and put cat eye contacts in and vampire teeth. It's crazy as hell. So, most of the stuff we learn is to scare them. So, I mean, from my house, like, teach me how to say, Allah sent me and there ain't no way in hell you're getting out of this. About 3 minutes later, Axe whistled up. He's like, there's 2 more. I was like, well, bring them to me. There's another adult male. He turn your back on a 14-year-old boy that will lock your head off and play soccer with it. I use that analogy because I've seen it happen. So we zip-tied him and sat him down. Now look, there's a way someone will look at you when you're driving downtown or whatever, you cut somebody off. There's a way someone will look at you when they're mad at you, okay? And there's a way someone's going to look at you when they want you dead, when they want to kill you, when they hate everything you stand for, all right? And, you know, I hope it never happens to anybody in here. It happens to me all the time, so I know what I'm looking at. But this is what we're doing. These guys weren't giving us anything, nothing. I mean, we're trying to get the kid water and power bars, and they were slapping it out of his hand and all this stuff like that, so. In all the mountains in Afghanistan, they came upon, they had to come on the one we were sitting on. In their world, that's inshallah. God willed that. In our world, it's Murphy's Law. Hell, we had Murphy with us. So, I know everybody would like to think war is black and white. You can write every scenario down in the main that's ever happened in every war and give it to us. We know, we can study it. That way, when we're over there, we get in a situation like this, we turn to the man, like, all right, here it is, page whatever. This is what the American public expects out of us, so they don't turn their back on us. You want to know what hurts worse than anything? I put 67 of my closest teammates in the dirt. I've been shot, fragged, broken bone, and all stuff like that. But there ain't nothing that hurts worse when we turn on the TV and see that the American public's turned their back on us. You want to talk about something cutting you to the core? That'll break you right where you're at.